So, like I imagine most of y'all, I woke up to find out that we were bombing the entire shit out of multiple shit in the Middle East. Iranian state media reported that an Israeli U.S. strike hit a girls' elementary school in the southern city of Maimed, killing dozens and dozens of children. And Iran is fighting back. I kept reading, trying to figure out everything, because it's a lot, right? And I found out that there was no congressional approval for this, which is illegal and not surprising. Unfortunately, if you claim to be a patriot and love and respect this country, you can't love the country and wipe your ass with the Constitution. But the more I read, I was more confused because I saw what Trump, aka Orange PDF, said to the Palestinians. He basically told them to oust their government and take this huge chance to make their own destiny. Take your country back? Is this motherfucker kidding me? And us, y'all? Why is Trump worried about the Iranians getting out of oppression or the Palestinians getting out of oppression when the United States is in a big constitutional Nazi fascist mess? Based on statements from early 2026, Trump has focused on Iran's government, often termed a maximum pressure approach, is driven by a combination of foreign policy goals, national security concerns, and political strategy, even as he faces domestic challenges within the United States. Trump has consistently characterized Iran as the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism and a dangerous, destabilizing force that has harmed American interests and allies. Following U.S. and Israel strikes, Trump had expressed that this is a single greatest chance, again, for the Iranian people to take back their country. His administration has somehow advocated for removing the Iranian leadership, calling them a brutal and ruthless regime. Trump has stated he is standing with the oppressed Iranian people who have demanded basic human rights against a regime that has murdered its citizens. When the fuck has this motherfucker gave a fuck about that shit? Because we are absolutely dealing with that same shit in this country at his tiny, tiny hands because of him. And he will sit his old fat evil ass at Mar-a-Lago and send your babies to war. Your babies will see and do unspeakable things in the name of this country under his command. Also, you might want to learn that Trump and his family have made $4 billion while the president of these United States, and this amount is a conservative estimate. Right. Trump and his family have made almost $4 billion off of the presidency in just about a year. While turning America into a shithole. So especially because he created a mob of ignorant, evil, poor in virtue and money J6ers with small penises to assist him in making us poor and powerless. But he allegedly gives a shit about those brown people over there in the desert. So of course, I immediately look for reasons besides cash, because it seems like Orange Crush and his family got that shit under control. I immediately noticed this strategy is one of his most popular strategies or actions, and it works wonders on all you stupid ass MAGA racists. Obviously, I'm talking about the ever-present diversionary strategy. Some observers have suggested that focusing on foreign crises like Iran acts as a diversionary war or a way to distract from domestic scandals and policies, duh, y'all, and struggles like the Trump Epstein files, Miss Renee and Mr. Alex, the fact that AI is fucking up the environment and will soon fuck all of us up, that he allegedly had a baby with a young nubile, in his words, girl, god dang, and ordered the baby killed, watched it be killed and thrown into Lake Michigan. And also, he is illegally making billions of dollars while president. It's all illegal. Y'all voted for a 34-count felon over an overly qualified black woman who wanted to give you first-time home buyers a big-ass tax credit of $25,000, and parents and newborns would have been getting up to $6,000 extra dollars. But wait, stupid misogynistic racists and the dumb bitches who love them and vote like they tell you to, there's more. She was trying to do something about these companies not paying their fair share, and Madam Vice President also sought to cut taxes for over 100 million middle-class households while raising the corporate tax rate to 28% and the corporate minimum tax to 21%. And there's so much more. But I'm at a point again where this shit feels, and it has shown itself to be, a full-on betrayal. And I might be getting furiously activated. I mean, I think I have passed that point, but I haven't yelled yet. I'm proud of me. But I will never stop believing that Taco Tits stole an election or two. Allegedly. I was actually gutted by the news. And I think how great life in the United States and the entire fucking world would be if some of y'all hadn't put your white supremacy or your desired closeness to white supremacy in front of what was best for you and for every damn body. Everyone except for the billionaires, the Trump/Kushner family. And in case you missed the biggest part of that sentence, white supremacy is the entire reason. As we see with the poorest of the poor of racist white people in Alabama, Mississippi, etc., they vote like the idiots they are to maintain their own perceived place in the privilege of whiteness. White supremacy is the reason, and I don't give a shit about what anyone else says to the contrary. I don't give a shit about this shit on my head. It's right in your face that white supremacy is the reason. And I think that there are many reasons why we may not immediately come to that truth. One reason could be that we try to humanize these animalistic people when they have never been interested in giving us the same respect. And yes, as much as this might hurt some of us to hear, it's the truth. I didn't mean to end up here, but here we are. You know, shit, it's the reason. Anyway, back to the reasons that this Nazi is pretending to give a fuck about one of the places he accidentally left off of that shithole country list. The next lie is that foreign policy focus is something that he truly gives a shit about. Reports indicate that in his second term, foreign policy has often taken precedence on Trump's agenda, sometimes overshadowing domestic issues like the cost of living and Americans getting shot in the head in the streets, maimed and or disappeared. We don't have health insurance, health care, and you actually really don't give a fuck about that because we've seen your big hungry ass use EBT for children, the elderly, and disabled as a bargaining chip. Now you're fucking up Minnesota's Medicaid, Medicare, because they continuously whooped your crew of violent thugs over and over. They gave y'all such an ass whooping that it inspired a nation. And your ass is mad about it. Disrespectfully, of course. So others say that it's due to political pressures. Supporters argue that confronting Iran is necessary to protect U.S. interests, while some critics see it as a reckless move that betrays his earlier promise to avoid endless wars. In summary, Trump's focus on Iran is presented as a strategic effort to remove a hostile regime, while critics argue it is a distraction from domestic issues and risk involving the U.S. in further costly overseas conflicts. I knew the motherfucker was out of touch, but does anybody else find it wildly inappropriate and the fucking peak of not America first? Like, this is bullshit and y'all need to fix it.